they can start construction of needless new roads while the existing roads remains death trapped. And they have this mentality too. If I complete the project of my predecessor, he's going to take the credit, and what am I going to show to people as my own? And that is why, despite the poor state of Nigerian universities, Bokwari still created over 20 new universities that were not even like completed, talking about, proper setup and all that. Also kept fighting them and fighting and fighting, you need to spend this money on the existing schools where you do not, I mean, if you go to Nigerian schools, you can easily tell, well, except for some intervention from private individuals who do go to those places and offer things, right? The government always open the door for they always open a new door on how they can, siphon their own money. So they started something, and it was, what do you call it? Okay, hang on. So in 2007, Peter Obi too became the governor of Anambra State. For 24 years of democracy, it is still being said, even though a lot of people are already saying, this is not even something we should be proud of, be bragging about. That the only governor of Lagos that actually really built schools to sort of manage the shortage of schools at the time, where people had to go, you had to go to school in batches: morning school, afternoon school, and night school. So at the time, Lateef Jakonde embarked on building this half-built poultry-like classrooms. Not until recently, because we have to give it to them, okay? Not until recently that we have seen Sanwo-Iku actually showing renovations of schools. Some being given, some modern touches and all of that. Not building any new schools, because if you have to build new schools, the old ones that are dilapidating away or falling apart, no window, no chairs, no doors, no roof and all that you can really see everywhere 24 years after democracy. A shame, right? But it became a kind of a campaign thing, or a means of propaganda thing. So the propaganda there is that Reno Mokri pushed the agenda of Obi never built a single school. And that became a talk. Then some people now went on to say, not only that he built new schools, but it's pretty, whether building new schools or so is so irrelevant. And they broke it down. Before this guy became their governor in Anambra, Anambra State was rated at as the 26th in their national exam in Nigeria. Then this guy came, returned all the schools that the state, according to him, couldn't really manage, returned them back to the, to missionaries, their owners, with a pact. Not only that the government is paying the salaries of the teachers in those schools, but giving them subventions that they're actually using for what they believe they needed. They needed water. They needed, new roof. Or they wanted health center. Whatever it is. As a government, it was doing that. And guess what? From the ratings of the Millennium Development Goal, this is facts now. And there's a reason why I'm telling you and sharing this with you. The set sort of, is that not the goal 15 of the Millennium Development Goal? Make education accessible to everyone. So how do you do that? Take a look at this, your screen. Again, My friends on TikTok can't see this, but if you go on YouTube, you will see this screen too, okay? Now take a look at this. This was the verified and verifiable sort of a record of the time that these three guys were in charge. First, when Tifnubu was the governor of Lagos State between 2003 to 2007. So you can easily tell what was his gross national per capita for Lagos. Very rich. Life expectancy, Human Development Index, HDI, Health Index, Educational Index, as well as the Income Index. This is this is an information that is that has been available for for years. This is not this your blind, tribal, ethnic, stupid rhetorics that a lot of you are popping up. And I know that some of you, none of this is going to help you to change your dirty, stupid, ignorant mind to keep propagating and then promote a bunch of criminals who have, their life record is a bunch of failures, right? Every other thing you probably are going to manufacture for Tifnubu and Fashola, despite their access to that amount of resources. So yeah, on record, the people living in Anambra, they have a longer life expectancy. They have access to at least primary health care. They have access to education. Listen, they said in Anambra State, they had about 1,350 or so public schools. The students or the children that need education in Anambra State, they said, our children that are going to that public school in Anambra State, they put them at 300,000. So when you begin to divide the children into those schools available, it simply means that you would have to put in maybe 300 children per school or 250 children per school. And averagely, that means you have around, maybe 40, 50 children per class, right? That's very healthy. And then from 26th position, they took Anambra State to number 1. This is a fact. It is something that is there. But a lot of you don't know that you see this will be going left, right, and center. There is actually an all-out propaganda campaign that is going to make it look like they have election next month. The guy said there is no election. Why don't you just face the people you promised to govern well? And that's why you are hearing this. So let's start with, I've shown you that, Abi. Here are some of the schools in Anambra State when that guy was their governor, okay? And according to them, right, they said, well, these were the schools he managed to get back on track, improve their teachers' welfares, increase their pay, and then give them more resources that, Give me a second. Hey, one sec. There's something I needed to pick there, okay? So he had all this, right? Like, I am not trying to actually put it to you, trying to manufacture something for him in his defense. I'm talking about things that are already available in public. Okay? And if you have anything you want to probably rubbish him on, I don't think you should be using that of education in Anambra State. Right? And I just saw one Abobaku on that TikTok, right? Who felt like, anyway, I'll come back to you. So now let's go to, let's go to that Anambra. And then Obi himself, what triggered some of this what you are witnessing so far, right? I'll come back to it. So this is how it all started, okay? Why is he giving money to these people? Why is he building the borehole? He is not your president. He is not your government. Some of the questions and all that, that you probably, or some of the expectation of him from some of these guys makes it look like he's their president. I don't know if you have seen a lot of, if you have seen some of those reactions, right? I'm coming back. This is how it all started.
The Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2024 general election has been busy in recent times visiting communities, mostly in the northern parts of the country, to get first-hand knowledge about their problems and how we can help. His latest stop is an Almajiri school located in Badarawa, Kaduna North local government area. The Singaya school, like other Almajiri schools in the northern Nigeria, is established to teach Islamic education to children between the ages of 7 and 10.
I've come to visit a typical Almajiri school because I believe that while we might not have schools everywhere, we can take education everywhere. And all the effort of the federal government need to be doubled by investing in these young ones. Because the more we invest in them and they have education and skills, the more we fight the future problems. Again, to invest in the area of pulling people out of poverty. I've said it repeatedly. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality.
While making a donation of 10 million naira to the school, Mr. Obi advocates proper funding and integration of the school system into formal basic education so the children can be exposed to other subjects side by side with Quranic education.
You can look at how intelligent these young ones are, how they memorize the Quran and everything. These are great people. These are engineers. These are doctors. These are professors. These are people who can develop into things. These are people who can change the world. I could see it in them. But we need to invest in it.
He also visited the Fawan Muslim Hospital and the College of Nursing, St. Gerald's Catholic Hospital, where he equally makes donations to the two organizations.
That is just the taste of what is to come. He has said it to you that what he has offered us here is just the beginning. It will come and come and come again. Therefore, I want to once more thank you very sincerely.
Presently, Nigeria has been fatigued by lingering insecurity, which is largely blamed on poverty and unemployment. However, the Labour Party presidential candidate believes that overcoming these challenges requires that government at all levels must invest heavily in human capital development.
You see, I wanted to show you that so that you can know when their rage is coming. Listen to me. I have told you this before. If you don't like Obi, it's all right. It's okay. If you don't like the Obidents, you despise them and all that, that's fine. But you would have to keep it to yourself. You would what? You would have to keep it to yourself. Because from my own, from my own experience, anything that stands as a threat to this establishment that can disrupt it, that can destroy it, anything, I am interested. Anyhow, I am interested. So I hope that is clear. I'm not asking you to like him. No. Me self no like him. I know to like him like that. But do I like what they represent and what they are standing for? 100%. We will follow you go further no. Yeah, I'm 100% in it. I will give my money. I will raise money for them. Tobani Lati, you know. So I'm not asking you to like them. And I won't even ask you to. Whether you like them or you don't like them, my advice for you is to keep your opinion to yourself. If you say anything stupid in that comment section, that will be the last time you will say it. I promise you. I've said that all the time. It's not a threat. Oh, listen, oh, it is called respect. But sometimes, right? Give me 1 sec. So sometimes, yeah, we actually need to make ourselves understand what it means to make yourselves enough like prepared to mix with other people whose main goal and wish is to what? Is to break the entire establishment, however they want to do it. If you have opinion of how Obidents is this or that, the African Wahala, I've not been reading my comments, okay? I'm going to need you. It is very, very important. Okay, very, very important, please. Once they do it, once they can't take it in, once they cannot keep it inside themselves, I don't care who they are, please, get rid of them. Here is that part where one of them, I believe Obidents, decided to give a bit of a lecture in their own words to a lot of you. Why would you be building something new when the old are already dilapidating, collapsing, no window, no this, no that? Do we not have all of that everywhere? So it worked for him. His idea worked. And a lot of people became the beneficiary of that access to quality education. That's not something you can wish away. No, it's not something you can wish away. Here is his own answer before I take you to that.
We're not talking about the 2027 election between parties. And, we are looking at, having Quranic education vis-a-vis the Western world. Someone recently accused you that you didn't build or complete any new school as a governor. How will you react to this allegations?
Well, you need to go and read my manifesto. You know, what we do here is that we don't read people's manifesto and know what they promised. When I was campaigning to be governor, as you know, and I'm sure you're aware, there was a term for nearly 2 years, the schools were shut in Anambra State. And everybody listened to, even yesterday when we were at Kaduna, a bishop said it, the Anambra school system went very low in rating. When I was campaigning to be governor, I said I'll change the educational system in Anambra State where schools and our children will never be closed. I'll make sure I give the best to education. When I was coming to Anambra to be governor, we have what we call male-girl-child issue, where most of the males were not in school. I said I'll reverse that. And I'll make sure that Anambra State becomes one of the best. And when I started, we were number 26, 27, Wayaka and Neko. By the time I left, we were number 1. That is what. When I went to Anambra State, I know the state of the schools. When I left, every secondary school in Anambra State had, like I said, a borehole, they had computers, they had vehicles, they have generator. No other state in this country, not one, will say they were able to fit. You can go and ask even providers of computer. Even had, every secondary school had internet. You can go and ask one of the famous makers of computer sets. Let me remember their name now. No, Zynos is the agent we use, but it's what we bought was the HP. When we ordered computers and desktop tech from HP, they told us, print out everything. They say, no government can afford this. But we bought them at a go, 30,000 complete sets for our various schools. No government was able to do that. We were able to train our teachers and everything. And the result is what you're seeing today. And to even go further, while I do not know who said that, and I don't want to know, but let me help you further. The only measure of development while I served as a governor is Millennium Development Goals, which was initiated in the year 2000 with Nigeria and over 150 countries as signatories. That is what China used to change. The MDG goals by the year 2008. That is clear 8 years after I had started. But by the time it was concluded in 2015, Anambra was #1 in the implementation of that. I was even invited to United Nations to come and talk about my experience. That is measured by UNDP. This is not a measurement where you say Peter has scored himself high. And I can tell you, our school, our hospitals, and our system became model for every other person. So I believe that we did the right thing. Those who are looking for the wrong thing, what I promised the people are delivered. I live in Anambra State today. I live in Onitsha. I'm just going there now. Thank you.
He lives in Anambra as their former governor and all that. And everything he said there is true and real. This guy ceased to be the governor of Anambra State like about 9 years ago. Another person had become governor of Anambra, no, more than 9 years ago. Soludo is there now for how many years? 2 or 3 years. Obaino spent 8 years. Add that to Soludo. That means this guy has left the government for 11 years. But the criminals who have been living off government, living off public money, Tifnubu and his family, and the rest of all these ass lickers, they will tell you education is not that much of a thing. We are supposed to give our people food. We are supposed to give our people money. Tifnubu, I won't get money, they blow money anyhow. Yet they are all living in that shit hole. The mega shitty of Lagos. So you see why you were watching that, right? Somebody was one Abobaku on TikTok said, you will cry by the grace of God. Emilomba will cry by the grace of God. I say, if the only grace of God, when did the grace of God started making people cry? Because the God is referring to is the God of Shege, the God of Nigeria, the Sky Daddy, Awon Lofo. I said, those who they told Awon Lokon, now you don't turn to any Konlomo or any Balomo. So if my ego will cry, you see me, and like this, I go to cry every day. Tinubu will do 8 years, continue crying, Baba Kobashi 80 years. Now me go, they come here every now and then to remind you, Tobashi walaye, if you see they alive, new. However, here is how one obedient put it. Listen to me. You can say sometimes like Dangbana Shoko are among those people who are the obedient. We no decree for anybody. But it was a meeting of the Agbadorians and the obedient on this matter. Then this guy decided to school them. Hear this broadcast.
That's okay. And the reason why I really want to respond to him is because from the way he sounded, it didn't sound like a typical Agbado. It sounded like the ignorance was actually an innocent one. Not some of these other ones. They actually know, they just pretend. But his own sounded like it was actually genuine, innocent one that needed to be tutored. My dear friend, education. When you check education as a section or segment of development, there is 6 things that make up education in that sector. 6 critical aspects of it. One is access. 1 out of the 6, that's what everybody's banding about. Access, that's the building, the structural building. But 2 is service. 3 is quality, embedded in expansion. That's where you talk about technical aspect of it, the libraries, ICTs, laboratories, and so many other things. The 4th one is enrollment. That's where you talk about girl-child enrollment, boy-child enrollment, out-of-school children, and all of that. The 5th one is school completion. So as they enrolled, how many people was able to complete? So how many children were you, not only how many children were able to pull into school, but how many children were you able to retain in school till they finish successfully? And then the last one is general performance. That's where the WAEC and the NECOs and the international awards and the global awards and the big everything is. So these are the 6 pillars of education.